One dark night, in the quiet countryside of Robertson County, Tennessee, four brothers were fast asleep inside their small wooden home. Suddenly, a strange noise pulled them out of their dreams, an eerie scratching sound. It seemed to come from beneath their beds, like something trapped, desperately clawing to break free. Terrified, the boys got up to investigate, but the moment their feet touched the floor, the noise stopped. The room fell silent. Outside the window, the cold wind howled. They bent down, lifted the covers, and stared into the darkness under their beds. Nothing. No animal, no intruder, just an empty, suffocating silence. The boys thought it was over, but they were wrong. This was only the beginning of a nightmare, a haunting that would grow stronger, darker, and more violent, one that would terrorize an entire family for years to come. This is the story of the Bell Witch haunting. And if you love strange, dark, and mysterious true stories, stay with me, because tonight we're diving into one of the most infamous hauntings in American history. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss any of our weekly journeys into the unknown. In the early 1800s, John Bell, a farmer, moved his family to a quiet farm in Robertson County, Tennessee. The land was rich and fertile, perfect for farming. At first, life seemed peaceful. The Bells were respected in the community, and their farm grew quickly. But soon, small disturbances began. The family would hear faint knocking sounds on the walls of their cabin. At first, they ignored it, thinking it was the wind or animals outside. But the noises grew louder and stranger. Scratches, heavy footsteps, sounds of chewing and gnawing inside the house. Yet nothing was ever found. Then, the unseen force grew bold. Bed sheets were ripped off while the children slept. Hair was pulled. The younger daughters cried out in the night, saying an invisible hand was slapping them across the face. What began as noises soon became something far more terrifying. A voice. At first, it was only whispers in the dark, words no one could understand. But night after night, the whispers grew louder, clearer, until the entire family could hear it. The voice spoke out loud, mocking, cursing, and threatening the Bells. Sometimes it sang hymns in a shrill, twisted tone. Other times it laughed cruelly at their fear. The entity called itself many things, but most came to know it as the Bell Witch. Neighbors, curious and frightened, came to witness the events themselves. And to their horror, they too heard the disembodied voice. The witch would carry on full conversations, answering questions, exposing secrets no one else could possibly know. As time passed, the Bell Witch focused her rage on one man in particular, John Bell. He was beaten, cursed, and constantly tormented by the spirit. His health began to decline. Mysterious fits, trembling, and weakness overtook him. The witch often declared loudly in front of witnesses that she would kill John Bell. She even promised to do it in public so that everyone would know. And tragically, she seemed to keep her word. In December 1820, John Bell fell violently ill. His family discovered a strange vial of black liquid near his bed. Poison, though no one knew how it got there. When they asked the witch, her voice rang out through the room. "It's useless. I gave him the poison. He will never rise again." Soon after, John Bell died, making him, some say, the only man in American history whose death was officially blamed on a ghost. The Bell Witch did not stop with John's death. She continued to torment the family, especially Betsy Bell, John's daughter. Betsy was slapped, pinched, and left bruised by invisible hands. Whenever she became engaged to a local boy, the witch's fury grew, screaming through the night until Betsy broke off her engagement in terror. The haunting became so infamous that even General Andrew Jackson, who would later become President of the United States, visited the Bell farm. He and his men stayed the night, determined to prove their bravery. But by morning, they fled. Jackson himself was said to remark, "I would rather fight the entire British Army than face the Bell Witch again." By 1821, after John Bell's death and Betsy's broken engagement, the witch finally seemed to quiet down. She announced she would leave, but return years later. And according to local legend, she did return, and her presence is still felt in Robertson County to this very day. The Bell Witch Cave, near the original Bell Farm, is said to remain haunted, drawing visitors and investigators from around the world. To this day, no one can fully explain what happened inside the Bell home. Was it the restless spirit of a wronged woman, as some believed? A demon summoned by dark forces? Or perhaps something that fed on fear itself? Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain. The Bell family's nightmare became one of the most documented hauntings in American history. And that is the chilling tale of the Bell Witch Haunting, a story of fear, torment, and death, passed down through generations, and still terrifying us 2 centuries later. What do you think? Was the Bell Witch real, or just an old legend born from fear? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And remember, if you enjoyed this story and you love exploring the strange, dark, and mysterious, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss one of our weekly uploads, because the next story might just keep you awake tonight.